What predictions have you made that came true?
Well, we actually predicted an assassination attempt.
Of Donald Trump?
We didn't say who, but in our book, and we predicted a third-party candidate disrupting the election, and actually predicted in July that RFK would support Trump.
You created this thing called the I am system. I stands for Innovator, A stands for authority,
And M stands for the Maven.
Adults make over 35,000 decisions a day. So how does this I am system help on a daily basis? So by the way, Tali from Astro Twins, she's like half of the Astro. We do these shots on the podcast. They're called Magic Minds. They're delicious.
Awesome.
It's great for focus. It's great for just actually being alert, productivity, and it's all really clean, good ingredients, and we do it all the time. So we do this. We open them up, shake it. I've had like 5 today, by the way.
Oh my God.
I know, it's crazy.
love a
But
shot.
they're like all nootropics. There's like matcha.
Cool. I love nootropics. That's so cool.
It's really good. Like really good ingredients.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That's awesome.
Let's do it.
Yum.
It's good,
Leave it
right?
to a Virgo to have like the best, like, yeah.
Leave it to Virgo.
Always have like, well, they find the things,
That we
the
always
healthy
find.
things that no one else can find.
Listen, thank
This
you.
and my book together, you are going to be so damn productive.
Oh my God, I'm going to be so productive with all your tips and tricks.
Oh my
and
God.
this, I'm like
what else
good
do
to
you
go.
need? Oh my God.
It's amazing. I like. You know what? I love this because you sit here for so many hours. You know what I mean?
This is really good. Oh my God.
Really good because it's the ingredients are like top notch. There's like ashwagandha, there's matcha,
God.
there's like turmeric.
I have
It's
so
not
many
junk.
questions for you about business. I feel like we have to like hang out sometime because
Anytime.
like, yeah. Okay, good.
We can anytime. Okay, now we're going to get into the podcast. All right, you guys, you're in for a treat. This is going to be a really fun podcast. Today we have one of the Astro Twins. Her name is Tali Edut.
Yes,
Is that how you say it?
it is. Mm-hmm.
All right, and Tali is a celebrity astrologist. Is that what you say?
Astrologer, I like. You
Astrologer?
could say either, yeah.
All right. She's worked with Beyonce. She's worked with Dua Lipa. Who else have you worked with?
Alicia Keys, we did a reading for Carly Kloss, Emma Roberts.
A lot of ladies.
Yeah,
a lot of girls.
Yeah.
Not so many men.
Astrology is its own, I hate the term, but girl math,
Yeah. It kind of is though. Girls,
It is.
all the girls I know love astrology, including me.
Oh, great. Yes.
Including me. And what's interesting about Tali is that she does this with her twin sister. That's why they're called the Astro Twins. And their new book is called The Astrology Advantage. And, they also did my chart, but we're going to learn so many things in this book. This book, like I said, is super fun. I'm not someone who typically will have astrologists on the podcast, but the reason why I really wanted to speak with you is because you do talk about how astrology can be helpful in productivity, in your career, in lots of different ways, how you can apply it to make it work, which again, I'm all about like taking something and using it for actionable purposes versus
Exactly.
just yammering on and just talking about it. So thank you for being here.
I'm so excited, and thanks for giving astrology a chance.
Oh no! Listen, I like it. Like I said, in my hobby, but now I'm bringing it to like the
Yeah.
podcast, which I'm excited about. So, can you just say maybe in a few sentences what is astrology?
Absolutely. And literally anyone can learn it. You don't have to be a psychic to be an astrologer because there's a system to it that anyone can learn. I've actually taught it to hundreds of people at this point.
Really? Because that was my next question. I was going to say, do you have to be kind of psychic?
You really don't. I mean,
Okay.
I think we all are actually a little bit psychic, and it kind of gives you that code. So what it is a snapshot of the planets in their orbit at any given moment in time. So if we're looking up at the sky, now we know the sun is the center of our universe here, but in astrology it says we get to look up at the sky and it's as if the sun and moon and all the planets are orbiting around us. So if we freeze frame them in their exact at any exact minute in time, you have this map. Each one will be lining up with a different zodiac sign. And then astrologers know how to interpret that. So most people know their sun sign. They know where the sun was when they were born. I know you're a Virgo, I'm a Sagittarius, but we also have a moon sign, Mercury, and Venus, Mars, and each one is like in charge of a different area of your life.
Really?
Yeah.
So why do we all focus then on the sun sign?
Well, the sun really is the essence of your personality, and it's trackable. It's based on your birthday during the same time every year. But I don't know. I think that that's just where modern astrology has taken us. But the Greeks, the Egyptians, even back to the Babylonians, they looked at everything. Where was the moon? Where was Mercury? And it's really unique.
Interesting. So then if we don't have, okay, so you're saying because it's the essence of our personality is in the sun sign. Okay. But then in terms of the moon and all the other pieces, do we not really get a clear, decisive indication if we don't know all the other pieces? Like,
it really does round out the picture. So that's how I got obsessed with astrology. This was not my intended career. I went to the University of Michigan. I studied art and journalism.
get out.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went to college for
Yeah.
like a different type of occupation.
Absolutely. This was like, okay, hi, Mom. I'm becoming an astrologer now. Thank God my mom's awesome and a Leo. So,
Your mom's okay, and a rabbi, which
a
I
rabbi,
thought was
too.
great. Okay. So then how did you go from that to now being an astrologist? Or
yeah, or ist, whatever. It's interchangeable.
Right.
While I was at the University of Michigan, I started publishing a magazine, a multicultural size positive women's magazine. It was a project that turned into an entrepreneurial life of its own. This happens to Sagittarians. We're like hobby, career. So it's part of but
Yeah.
one of the things
Exactly. That's happened all the
I'm
time.
sure you could really, yeah. So the unifying language among this diverse group of us who put the magazine together was astrology. We started doing our charts, and that's when I found out that I had a Scorpio moon. And so the moon is your inner nature. And I started to learn one piece at a time. So while your sun sign really shows how you shine in the world, the moon is your private self. And that really does balance out, who you are with your family and friends can be different than who you are out in public. So
That's so interesting. So like for me being a Virgo, right?
yeah.
That's my sun sign.
Yeah.
What would be, so you're saying that who we are in our deeper inner self is our moon sign. To me, that's way more interesting and much more telling
I
about a
think
human
so.
being than what people's perception or optics are.
Oh yeah, your moon is in Libra. So
Mine is?
yeah, Libra is a sign of justice, of peace, of harmony, you really can get emotional when people are being treated unfairly or things feel unjust. It's also about beauty and, so aesthetics, things like you have a good eye for things probably.
I mean, not particularly, actually, not for my own clothing, but that's besides the point. I'm not very fashion forward, but I mean, maybe you're right. Like what I'm good at is I can see it in somebody else, just not on myself.
But emotionally, like you take good care of yourself.
Yeah, I take very
and
good
that's
care of
like
myself.
that
Yeah.
is kind of the Libra moon way. You don't really like conflict, but you will get in there if you have to fight.
If I have to.
If you have to, but it's probably not your preference.
Not my preference.
Yeah.
No, is that really what is like a Virgo in your opinion?
Yeah, so Virgos are an earth sign. So every sign is categorized as one of four elements: fire, earth, air, or water, and one of three modalities: cardinal, fixed, and mutable. And so Virgo is immutable, which means it's very changeable and adaptable, but it's an earth sign, which means it's very traditional and stable. So it's kind of a quirky sign to be because on the one hand, Virgos get such a bad rap, and this is the biggest lie out there that Virgos are boring. That I cannot think of a less boring sign. But Virgos do like things to be sort of routine and disciplined.
Totally. But boring, I'm not.
No,
But that's so interesting because most Virgos I know are not boring.
no way. Beyonce's a Virgo.
Yeah,
I
it says a
mean,
Virgo. I was going to
Pink,
say.
like Virgo. But
Name some famous Virgos.
well, Kobe Bryant was a Virgo. Dr. Drew is a Virgo. Who else? Prince Harry, Blake Lively, Beyonce, Pink.
Oh, Blake Lively and Beyonce are too.
Yeah.
By the way, can you give us some like any kind of juicy gossip about what you found out about Beyonce or a girl named Demetria who works with us here is obsessed with her. So I'm doing this. That's a question for her more than for me, to be honest. But you're welcome, Demetria. She'll thank you later.
Tomorrow's her birthday. Beyonce's
Oh, is it?
birthday, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean, she was really cool. I mean, she is as nice as she appears to be. She had no attitude, she's just like present and real. And when we did the reading for her, it was a long time ago. It was when she first started dating Jay-Z, and we
Oh,
were doing readings at the Billboard Music Awards. And I was like, hey, do you want a chart for you know who too? Because you can do a relationship chart
oh,
when you
okay.
put both side by side, and you can actually blend the two charts together to find a relationship's whole chart as well. That's I know it's
It
fascinating.
is fascinating
So she was, and she came back. We saw her the next day. She's like, I stayed up all night reading this, and
because she's a
yeah,
Virgo.
she's a Virgo. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what you do.
that's right. That's what we do. Um, okay, so let's talk about a couple things. Let's start with the archetypes
Yes.
of these signs. Like you said there's three,
There's three. So every zodiac sign is either fire, earth, air, and water.
right?
So the fire signs, should I go through them?
Yeah.
Okay, fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius.
Okay.
So very creative, impulsive, dynamic, the big idea people. And then we have the earth signs, which are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And those signs are more traditional, structured, stabilizing. They like things to go according to plan. And they're the ones you can depend on too for things. Then we have the air signs, so kind of the social butterflies. That's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius.
Okay.
And then lastly, the very emo water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. They're the nurturers, the powders, they're so then there's a second way that we group them, which are cardinal. Those are the signs that start each season. So that is why we wrote this. And our book is kind of all about these groupings.
Yeah.
The cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. These start every season, and thus they have that quality about them. People born under those signs or who have those signs in their chart will be the ones who just get out there. We call them the innovators. That we've given them new names.
Okay, so this is the I am, right?
Yes, this is the I am system.
Okay, this is the I am system. Okay, so there's I is the innovator. Go on. Yeah.
That's someone who has mostly cardinal signs. I have that in my chart. So I've started a business since I used to crush up rose petals and try to sell perfume in Michigan to the neighbors.
Really?
I was like, what was I thinking?
That's
I don't
great. I love that.
know. So, and then the fixed people have mostly fixed signs. These are the mid-season signs. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. They're the planners, the traditionalists. We call them the authorities. They're the ones who wind up becoming an expert on things. And in fact, that's your archetype, the
Oh, wow.
authority.
So I'm an A. I'm an
You're an
authority.
A, you're an authority, and very much so. Yeah.
Really? But
You're
that's
an earth authority.
based on okay, so wait, let me get this straight because this can be a little
Sure,
complicated.
I know.
Okay, it is. There's a lot of
We
things.
just dove right in.
Well, no,
Yes.
because why not, right?
Why
That's what
not?
we do. So you created this thing called the I am system, and it's the I stands for innovator, A stands for authority.
Authority. And
And
M stands for
for
the
the Maven.
Maven. That's someone with mostly mutable signs in their chart. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. They're the ones who wear a lot of hats. These are the signs that end every season. They're kind of the ambassadors, the messengers. They pull us, they can go back and forth between two worlds, three
Okay,
worlds.
but you said I'm an authority in a
You are an
Virgo,
authority.
but
Yep.
then it says you said I'm also a Maven.
No, you're not a
I'm not a
Maven.
Maven. Okay,
Yeah.
no, because it says here in the Innovator
Well,
stuff.
okay, a Virgo is a Maven sign, but the way we calculate the IM is by taking your whole chart. We take your sun sign, your moon sign,
Got it. This is where I get
all
confused.
the planets from Mercury through Pluto, and a couple other points, the rising sign and the nodes. So 13 points in your chart. And we kind of put them in a blender so that we can really distill the essence of your entire chart. Like, I'd like to say astrology has a marketing problem, you know?
Yes,
It's
yes,
like
yes.
everyone loves it, but they don't have time to learn
It's
it.
complicated. That's the
It
problem.
is.
That's why it's complicated. It's there's a lot of information, so it seems like it's complicated. Like you just said, well, yeah, you're a Virgo because that's your sun sign, but really you're a Libra moon sign. And then this way,
Exactly.
so it's
Like
like
I can tell you, so just to, you have Mercury in Virgo.
okay, wait, let's start with this. Okay, I
Yeah,
think that's how
yeah.
we're going to do it. So people are not going to be like totally feel like they're like
I
on
know
like
we could go
acid.
all over.
I
I know.
know. Let's start with my chart. Let's go through all of it and then we can like figure it out. So go with
Absolutely.
so start with the,
Okay, so your sun sign is in Virgo. That's the essence of who you are.
okay,
And your main character energy. So, how you present in the world. Virgos are disciplined, they're organized, they're thoughtful, full of advice, always,
right.
very much, they're achievers for sure.
Okay, I can go with that. Yep. All right.
And then, like we said, your moon is in Libra. So, you're actually romantic too at heart, very much a relationship girly, as they say. You like things to be even keeled, peaceful. Now, Mercury is the planet that's the messenger. It's our communication style, which you have in Virgo. So you need things to be precise. You need them to be exact. You want to know, prove it. Very factual mind. You have an organized mind, probably too, in a lot of
But
ways.
the funny thing is I'm very disorganized.
Maybe out, but when it comes to like, do you like to categorize things?
See, I guess I feel like I'm super disorganized. I don't have a lot of like administratively, I'm very disorganized, but I'm very meticulous in how things should be done, like routine,
Yes.
regiment, schedule, stuff like
And
that.
that's where Mercury comes in. It's
Yeah.
like the data planet. So, and
Yeah.
you're a great interviewer. And so I
Well,
think
thank
Mercury
you.
in Virgo like knows how to ask good questions. You're very inquisitive.
Because we're curious,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
totally. And wanting to know, wanting to put the puzzle together, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Venus and Mars are fun because these are the love planets. Venus is kind of how you like to be wooed, and Mars is like what you're attracted to.
What am I attracted to?
You are well, so your Venus is in Leo and your Mars is in Virgo. So that's an interesting dynamic because you want to be romanced, you want fun and play, and you want to, you want to feel like the queen, but you also like someone who's hardworking, maybe a little quieter and simpler, and so it's like you have to find someone who knows how to. I just remember when I was on J Date years ago, they'd be like, someone who looks as good in a ball gown as she does in sweats, Or like someone who looks as good in running gear as he does in a tux or something.
Right.
You need
Okay.
both.
But who doesn't want that?
I don't know.
I
Some
mean,
people.
who doesn't want a guy
Sure.
who can like be who can diversify like that?
Yeah, but you don't just want that. You need that.
So I like diversification, so to
Somebody
speak.
who can dress up and go and be, just someone who like really knows how to give gifts, but also when it's time to hunker down and be practical.
Totally. I like practical for sure. But you're saying does that say that I like Leos and what's the other one?
I mean, not necessarily. Venus in Leo also means that, Venus in Leo is like how you dress, how you take care of yourself. So there's a glam side to you too, even if you are sporty.
A little bit. I mean,
Your hair's done. You got your lash,
yeah, exactly. Like I have like my nails are always have to be on point. I
Totally,
do like my
totally.
hair done.
Yes.
But even though I wear like, yeah, I'm
that's
casual. I'm casual.
casual glam.
Casual glam. That's a good way of
Because
putting it.
Mars in Virgo also shows like Venus is the feminine and Mars is the masculine, if you want to get archetypal about it. And so we all have both in us. So Mars is also the way you motivate and move through the world. So your work ethic is like crazy, probably on
Yes,
point.
my work ethic is. I feel like
Yeah,
that.
Mars and Virgo, people are probably like, how do you get so much done?
Yeah, but Mars. But wait, Mars is.
Mars is also like what you need in a man. It doesn't mean you need to be with a Virgo, but you need to be with someone who has their stuff together, is also very disciplined themselves.
So then like so basically I'm just gonna look at this. Do you I'm gonna see this and I can always edit this out. Hold on.
No problem.
I want to see like. So basically, hold on.
Dating someone? Are you married? I don't even.
I
know,
am
actually.
married, yeah,
okay.
but okay, wait. So my best sign would be Virgo.
You know what? It's just the qualities. It doesn't. There's any sign because there's so much in everybody that it's hard to just say. But
Because people always say like Virgo does well with Capricorn or
it's another Earth sign or a
Taurus,
right?
right?
That's a very simplistic
Way
way.
of
I really
putting
do
it.
think any two signs can make it work. Sometimes the weird matches are like Virgo and Aquarius can be good together, and no one
Really?
ever sees that. Yeah.
Why?
Both are like when you're 5 signs apart from another sign, there's like the distance between two signs is also creates the chemistry and the tension, almost like are you standing next to each other in an elevator? Are you standing across the room? So sometimes people do well with a partner who is so different than them that they're never bored. And astrology can actually show you that too.
That's interesting. I always believe that people who have more in common with each other do better together, compatibility wise.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of like a myth, urban legend or a myth that opposites attract. I don't believe that
Well, you have a
really.
Libra moon. So your emotional energy likes you don't want that. You just want it to be easy and relaxed and flow. So you can just be who you are, and not yeah, but someone with an Aries moon may like somebody who's more of a challenge.
Yeah, I get that. I was like in my younger days, perhaps, I guess. But all right, so what else does it say?
Well, the outer planets from there are more about how you are in the world. So Jupiter, which is the planet of luck and expansion, is in Aquarius for you. So that's very sporty, very like Aquarius is the sign of the humanitarian too. So that's a big deal. It also rules technology, so you probably do really well on YouTube and things like that.
YouTube, I do terrible.
Really?
Instagram, I do well.
Oh,
I mean, I do
Instagram.
well.
Okay, social media then.
I do well, and so TikTok. Yeah, I mean, I do well in Instagram. I mean, I don't know.
How about TV in general? Have
I
you
had
done any
I had a
TV?
weight loss show for
Okay.
a bit, and then yeah, I used to do a lot of TV, and
TV
now I
would
do
be
a
good
little
for
bit.
Jupiter and Aquarius.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Aquarius it's a sign that rules electronics, the internet, TV.
Okay.
It's every sign has its own domain. I know we have neatly categorized every area of life among these 12 signs. That's what once you learn it and there's
It's
a
so
progression.
complicated.
It is, but it isn't because there's a progression from Aries, the first sign, which is like the baby of the zodiac, to Pisces, the last sign, which is kind of the elder. So it really goes and it builds one to the next, and it has a flow that anyone can learn.
It just seems like I want to know based on my signs more than anything, what would be like my best, like what would be best for my career, tips for like I said productivity.
Sure.
I want to know like how all my stuff actually can it help me truly like be better or optimize an area where I'm like deficient in because I'm not using this chart properly.
1,000%. And that's why we should move towards your authority because your I am. So if like taking all these things apart one at a time, we don't live like that.
Yeah,
We're
we
not
don't.
like, now I am emotional. What does my moon say?
Yeah,
now
yeah.
I mean, you will be expressing all these traits at the same time. And so that's
Yeah.
why I love what we did in the Astrology Advantage, which allows you to use them all kind of at once. It kind of it's the law of averages. It averages out your chart so you can really distill the essence. So when I look at your chart, you have so of these 13 placements, 2 are fire, 5 are earth, 3 are air, and 3 are water. So earth is really the most prevalent element in your
Oh, that's
chart.
interesting now. Okay.
And you're lower on fire. So sometimes being creative might be a little harder for you. You want to know, it's not that you're not creative, but
No, I
not
get it.
so much
Yeah.
artsy. You're more of a,
I'm
give me
not
the
artsy.
structure.
I'm not artsy at all. Like I'll always say, like they're like, "Oh, do you want to go see this? Do you want to go to this art gallery or this open?" I'm like, "Not. I've no." Listen, if you go and look in my house, my 9-year-old does all my paintings, and I'm perfectly happy with it. Art is not my favorite thing, that's for sure.
As an art schooler, I understand that sometimes I am not athletic at all, and I really wish I was.
It's like right,
So
but it's like part of like who our it's our what we naturally are gravitate to.
yeah,
Correct?
exactly. And so for you with Earth, it's family, it's tradition, it's a sense of comfort and security that you really like more than anything. Stability, Earth is also really good with money, good with business. Now, when it comes to the I am, you have 3 innovator placements, 6 authority, and 4 maven. So you have a bit of all of them, but the most prevalent one is authority. So the authorities are really also the traditionalists. So you're an earth authority, and we call you the provider. We wrote so a dutiful, dependable person who takes a practical approach to life, acting as a frugal steward of their
Oh my
resources.
God, I sound so boring and so lame. Oh my God. Okay, that's
But you're
hilarious.
not, you're the provider, right?
Am I? I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't know. Maybe I am.
Maybe you are,
In
maybe.
what way? Like,
Well, if I were to distill your entire chart into one zodiac sign, which the Earth authority sign is actually Taurus. So if we could put your chart in a blender, even though you're a Virgo, like if we put it all together, it's the energy of Taurus is sensual but sensible, I say.
yes, that would be a perfect way to describe. Okay, I like this. I think I'm more Taurus. Tell me what other things that Taurus are.
Um, They love to be home. They love to be around family. They don't like change all that much. They're actually habits and hustle is,
Their
might as
thing.
well say Taurus because it's this hardworking, devoted energy. Habits are what Taurus loves. It's like, give me the same thing over and over again.
Yeah,
I'll
I'll
eat
eat
the
the
same
same
thing.
thing.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that's so funny,
I
right?
do. So really, I'm more of a Taurus than I am a Virgo.
Yeah. I mean, if this is it's kind of funny, but yes, at essence, when you use your whole chart, you're both obviously, but that Taurus energy is really where your superpower is. That
That's interesting. I bet you then, from what it sounds like, a lot of people may think they're one sign,
yeah.
but actually be a totally different sign if they actually did their chart properly.
Yeah, we have a calculator on our
Yeah,
website.
tell
So
us how this works. Yeah.
astrostyle.com/I am. Very easy, IAM. And you just put in your time, date, and place of birth. If you don't know your time, it might be off. One of the numbers might be off by one, but it's close enough.
Okay.
And then you get this archetype, and you don't need to know about the elements. You can just go with your innovator, authority, and maven. And in the book, we have so many practical tips how to use that for every aspect of your life. And we've done like coaching groups. We've worked with hundreds of people. We've spoken to, we've worked with teams at companies and really applied this.
Like how? Give me an example how you can apply it, like for productivity.
So every one of the I ams has a specific way that they like to work. And they each have a time zone that they're in. So the innovators are the futurists. We like to we'll turn every space into a satellite office. We need to move around. We need a lot of variety. We have to pick up and go. The authority has what we call the command station. They want their work in one place, close the door, and then relax over here. They don't like to blend everything together, you know?
Really?
Yeah. Do
Okay.
you work like that?
See, I don't know. My situation is I'm a kind of like, a lot of what you're saying does relate to me. However, I'm also like all over the place. Like I'm very much a visionary person, not so much of an operator, which is
Yeah.
interesting in terms of like you're saying, like having everything like kind of organized and scheduled and documented. And I'm just a squirrel. Like I'm here, then that's over here. Like I'm very, so a lot of the Virgo-y things don't really apply to me, but then I am practical. I am sensible. I have like both. I have a lot of like yin and yang.
Yeah, Virgos actually are like squirrely. You're immutable. Virgo is a mutable sign. So Virgos are collectors. They're like, I've got this, I got this, now I got this. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
they're
Oh, really? Okay, good.
curators who find all the things. Like they'll just get like 10 face creams to try or 10.
Yes, that's what I do. And none of them work. But that's
I know,
another
isn't it great?
yeah,
They're all the same. Then you
exactly.
go to
They're
the
all the same
drugstore
crap.
and you're like, damn it.
Exactly. Okay, so tell us how we can be more productive while I look for the other question I have for you.
Absolutely. You can set up you can own who you are. So authorities will go hard, they'll work, and then they need to clock out at the end of the day. Innovators need to like work and then take a break, work and then take a break. The Mavens are always wearing a lot of different hats and they can get socially distracted too, but they're great at like social media and being with people. It's kind of like designing a life around your strengths is how you can use astrology. Like you can be in any field, but as an authority, you know, you still need things to be regimented a certain way.
Yeah.
Whereas a maven can drop them anywhere and they're like, I'm just going to go with the flow with what everyone else is doing.
Okay, so how about this? You say in the book, adults make over 35,000 decisions a day. So how does this I am system help on a daily basis with decision making?
Yeah, it's really answers the question like, which path will be the most efficient and effective for me? Because at any time we don't always have to do what our astrology tells us to, you
Right,
know?
right,
Like,
right.
although, you know, it's probably, you know, so if you want to optimize your decisions, or even get like like in love, the innovator becomes the idealist, the authority becomes the attacher, and the maven becomes the mirror. They want someone who's always like, okay, I said this, you said that. Like understanding the other people in your life is also helpful. Like
Totally.
as an authority, you're an attacher in relationships. You want to know, are they in or out? You're not probably a great dater. You're not like a play around kind of person.
Me?
Yeah,
Opposite.
exactly.
No. Opposite. Like I am a great that's what I do very well.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these things do not apply.
But what makes you a great dater?
I had a lot of, I mean, I'm married now, but I mean, I had a lot of boyfriends and a lot of dating. I mean, I was just saying on the last podcast, I have so many, I'm very social in that way. So I have
Yeah.
a lot of people I date and friends and
But did you have a system for how you dated?
no,
No, you just went with it.
I will not went with it. I mean, I had a particular kind of guy I would go out with. I was very focused on having a guy that was, you know, what girls like. I want someone who's successful
Well,
and
there you
tall
go.
and cute
Yeah.
and whatever and fit, like all the same things that any girl wants. But then I even I put together, like I created a charity for breast cancer where I would auction off all these eligible bachelors because I literally had so many guys that I knew.
Oh my God.
So-
So there's your Venus and Leo,
I
the
mean,
queen of dating.
that's what I'm saying. So that's why it doesn't make sense because I literally, in fact, little side note, Lance Armstrong had his
Also a Virgo.
he's a Virgo?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. So he was one of my 1 year of my Babes for Boobs, which is the charity auction I do. He was my host, or like we kind of
cool.
gave him an award for raising so much money for overall cancer. And and so like we did they did a 30-30 for him, and I was in the 30 for 30, like kind of like showing everybody all the dating stuff, like, and it just came out like recently, so everyone's stopping me like, oh my god, you were just in this thing. But the point is that yeah, I have like that to me is not an area I am a dater, and I know that, so that doesn't really match.
But you're a successful dater.
Yes.
That's so I will.
Is that a difference?
And look at you're
between-
still friends with all the guys, right?
I am still
so they're
friends. Well, not all of
attached.
them. There's some who don't like me very much.
Oh, they
but
don't. Well, they're
I can name a
lost.
few.
Good for high five, sister. That's good for you.
But
it.
with that being said, so what makes somebody a successful dater versus
I don't
not?
know. Just like I was a terrible dater. Oh my god, it was like
Why?
I'd just be like I hated it. I was so anxious. Well,
Yeah.
as
well,
an
I hated it.
innovator, the idealist, it's like, is he the one? Is he the one? Is he? I'd always try to make everyone into the one, and that was my worst
Oh,
toxic
interesting.
trait in dating. I'd say
How long have you been married? You said 15 years?
15 years. Yeah,
How old are you?
51.
So you got married when you were 36?
Yep.
Okay.
Is that good math?
And at Virgo, right?
Exactly. But there's a calculator. Yeah.
So how accurate is all this information? Honestly.
I don't know. It's really, sometimes it doesn't fit for people. But then what it can be used for in cases like that is an interesting reflection. Like I always say, oh, take it or leave it. It's a gift that we have from the ancients. You don't have to live your life by it. There's
Right.
sometimes we're always evolving, we're always changing, but it's such an interesting thing to have. Like, okay, like when I found out I have Mars and Venus and Scorpio, I was like, well, I better, rear it up a little bit more here,
Right. I find that there's a lot of confusion, right? Because I think there's astrology, there's tarot cards, there's all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you get from astrology that you don't get from tarot cards, or vice versa?
Yeah, astrology is a system. It's really, it's like, it's very specific. The time of birth is going to plug you into the sky. It's backed up by NASA data. Like,
Yeah, it's
the
true.
moon was in the Libra part of the sky. Like, NASA will tell you that, when you were born. Tarot is more interpretive. It's like a divination where it's like, I'm pulling this card and I see the high priestess, and now I'm going to interpret what that means. It's much more of a psychic thing.
It's more of an interpretation.
It's interpretive. And
but this is more
astrology
data based.
yeah, it is literal.
Yeah.
And it's math plus myth. There's not really math with tarot as much,
Right.
although there is within the archetypes when you learn them.
So astrology is it's data based.
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's data based, and math. There's like scientific math
There's
behind
math,
it.
like the angles, like you can get really nerdy.
You can get
like,
super
your
like
sun is opposite your moon. During a full moon, the sun and moon are in opposite signs. Like you start to learn the angles. I feel like
Of all
you
the
want to
things.
teach women to love math, just teach them how to read birth charts because we apply it. We're relationship oriented.
It's so true.
Self-knowledge oriented. I know, it's amazing.
And so tarot cards are much more interpretive.
Yeah.
Then okay, how has astrology changed, like in today's time versus when you first started, like in the early 2000s?
Oh my God. I actually started in the 90s.
In the
with
90s
it.
even. Wow.
And it was my sister's college boyfriend, Calvin, gave her a chart like this with a 30-page booklet describing every planet and all the angles between them. And of course, I wanted to read it because we're twins. So I was
Right.
like, give me that. And I was like, how the hell does this thing know so much about me? I was fascinated. And so I started, I don't know, weird things started happening. Like we got this piece of software and we started doing our friends' charts. I just wanted to know why and how it worked because I'm, a skeptic too. I was like, how on earth? And I think
Right.
people should be skeptical because it has not yet been proven, but like when you think about what science is, it's like you're studying, you're looking at a data pool and you're drawing conclusions.
Totally. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah, so that's what astrology, that's what it is at this
But has it
point.
changed and evolved since then?
It's just become more accessible
Mm,
because of apps. Snapchat, you
so
can do your,
many.
your whole birth chart. There's an app called CoStar that lets you find all your friends' charts and match yourselves up. And
There's also
yeah,
these apps. What was the one that I liked? What's it
the
called? The
pattern.
Pattern.
Yeah,
How did you know?
I know people love that app.
It's because you know why? It's so, like that's one that I would open and like it says things and I'm like, oh my God, that's like
Yeah.
so to the like to the T me.
Oh, it's so good. And it is just astrology. It just doesn't tell you why. See, for me, I'm like, where did they get that? Oh, that's Saturn.
Yeah, but that's right. How are they able to do that though for an app? Like you don't have an app, do you?
I do have an app, but I'm still working on developing it because there's so many apps out there. I'm like,
So
oh my God,
many.
I have a web. My website is very robust. You
It
can learn about,
is?
yeah, astrostyle.com. So
How does it like how do they like how did these apps even like generate all this information? Like
it's really easy. Like, I mean, I know like the moon changes signs every 2.5 days, but all the other
and they can
planets,
just
yeah,
take
it's
that.
like I could get the NASA data at any point. Like they could, it's out there. There are, it's called an ephemeris. It's like Benjamin Franklin even used to write them. So like he was an
Really?
astrologer.
He
Yeah. He
was?
was. Yep. It's yeah, all the founding fathers were like secret astrologers.
So I guess it can also help with like hiring, right? Because
Totally.
if you are good at reading these charts and understanding, you can say, okay, I this person doesn't seem like they listen, like it's not like an exact science, but it's at least better than nothing. And you can say, this is telling me this person is gonna could be a good leader. This person would make a great, worker bee, or this person will be a great operator,
Or
or
even in terms of what you need to get the best out of it. Like our
right.
team, our two operations people are both authorities and they need to rest a lot and they
Why?
work hard and rest hard. They're brain, they need like a structure. Like if I not rest in a lazy way at all, but they need to just like not be keyed up too much. Authorities do not like to be stressed out or rushed at all.
I see this is another fallacy, I
Not
think.
you.
No, and most people I know who are Virgos,
Well,
like,
Virgos are not, yeah.
yeah, no, we don't. I don't rest. I mean, I've never taken a nap in my life. That's the first
Okay,
thing.
let me rewind that because they're not nappers and they're always ready to be on
I
seven
don't
days
mean
a
like a
week.
napper, but I just mean like I don't rest. Like my problem is I don't rest ever, and most
Hmm.
Virgos I know are the same
Yeah,
way.
Virgos, no. Now we didn't talk about your past life sign, which is Scorpio.
Oh, is that why though?
Yeah, the
Okay, we did
Scorpio.
not talk about
Right, we didn't
this.
get to the north and south nodes of the chart. So
Okay,
there's
well,
yeah,
you're you
we really have to talk about this. This is what
yeah.
Kabbalistic astrology as Jews we need to know. This is
Yes.
your
Well, you've been like
tikkun is
slacking over
there. I know.
here.
What the hell? There's just so much to talk about. I just went on a
I
wild
know. I
ride.
just thought there was my moon was my Libra, my Virgo was my sun,
You're doing
my
good.
right, my Venus and Leo are my
Venus is in Leo.
is
Yep.
relationship thing, and
See, look at that Virgo mind
I'm
cataloging it
telling you
all.
exactly. I
Is an
gotta. I'm
astrologer in you yet?
100%. And now you're saying that I'm a Scorpio in my past life.
Yeah, the 2 points in the chart, the north and south nodes of the moon, these are where the eclipses were happening, these points in the sky when you were born. And the south node, which we say is kind of what you came into this life being naturally good at or your gifts, is in Scorpio. What you're moving towards, your tikkun, your correction, is Taurus. I'm sorry, it keeps dropping these. Yeah, your
Oh,
tikkun is Taurus, which is funny since that is kind of the essence of your chart. So
yeah,
that Scorpio South Node is sexy, magnetic. I heard your story about Keanu on your talk that you did.
yeah,
How
yeah,
you like
yeah. My
just
TED talk.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, how you just magnetize.
I don't think I magnetized him. I think I just harassed and was very bold about asking for his
Yeah,
help.
that was a great story. But no, just there's that, really that intensity of the Scorpio from the past life.
That's so true. Well, first of all, I'm super intense still, though.
Hmm.
This is why I don't.
I
This is
love
why.
it. Yes, I have a Scorpio moon, Mercury, Mars, and Venus. So
See,
anyone with Scorpio, I always am like, I love them.
really, I don't
Yeah.
understand then how like I believe I'm probably more Scorpio than I am, or
Yeah,
I'm
I mean, we
both.
can go all over the map with it, you
So
know?
how does anyone? How are you able to really like drill in any information on how to be the most productive or how to be the most this or that? If you can read a chart and you can have in your chart Scorpio, Virgo, Taurus, because like that could be anything. I can
I
see
know.
myself with like I have some of the Scorpio in me, which would tend to make me believe I should go this direction. But then I also have a lot of Taurus in me, which would make me think I should go
Well,
that
you actually
direction.
don't have a lot of, you don't have anything. You have your North Node in Taurus is the only Taurus. The Earth, fixed Earth sign is Taurus. So that's just like if we were to put everything together and smush it together, like the core essence, like if we mixed it all up, would be like a Taurus flavor. But you're a Virgo, you are a Virgo, but your I am archetype is the authority, and that's going to help. Like, if you want to be most productive, you should maybe try separating your office from the rest of, like a simple, you don't need a lot of stuff in your line of vision. Any kind of chaos or mess will throw you off and make it hard for you to work.
That's true.
Yeah, some people, mavens can be in a mess. I mean, my husband's a maven. My God, it's just like I have to close the door to a couple rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah. No,
And
no,
how about
no.
an innovator?
Innovators just turn everything into an office. Like my sister and I, when we're together, it's like ridiculous. Like, we went to the butcher's daughter or the Soho house. Like, we could not even like sit still for long. We drove each other crazy. So,
Are
yeah,
you guys really close?
we are. Yeah.
Because you're twins, right? Like, do
Yep.
you feel each other's energy then for real?
Oh, definitely. And we have
Really?
another sister too who's an innovator. So, yeah.
Really?
Hmm.
How old is she? Is she younger or
She's
older?
5 years younger, and she is a family constellation therapist. So we're all like working with this like family constellation
What
is
is
more of
that?
like it's a like an ancestral trauma healing. It's like you kind of the idea is that different you carry trauma from generation to generation, and you do this work where you kind of it's almost like a hypnotherapy visualization where you go back and kind of repattern the family conversations and lineage. I know you should talk to her. She's really interesting.
That's super interesting. Does she
Yeah.
have a client list? Does she actually get
Yeah, oh yeah, she
business?
works with a lot of different she does, yeah, she works with people, family members come together and they just do this healing together.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds very woo-woo
It
though.
is very woo-woo. Well.
Yeah, it's very
What I
woo-woo.
do isn't woo-woo. It's
No,
funny, well, I'm less woo-woo, even though I work in a woo-woo field. I'm very
you
practical.
seem very practical.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So she would be very interesting. How did you, I mean,
But yeah, my sister and my twin, Ophi and I are always like, I mean, not as soon as I leave, I'll call and she'll be like, how was it?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys are very close.
Yeah, she was bummed she couldn't be here
I
today.
know. I'm bummed I couldn't meet her. Okay, so wait, what are the other things okay, so um wait. Oh, AI and all that and like Chat GPT and all that. How does that affect your business now? Or does it not?
You know, I tried to see if ChatGPT could write a horoscope for me because I was like, well, that'll make my life easier.
That's right, exactly, you know?
And it's getting better at it. I test it periodically, but you have to know what to ask it. You have to know what to direct it in. And even if I'm like, oh, please rewrite this for me, I still have to go in and polish it. So, but I feel like, so there's no getting around. AI is here to stay. My prediction is not shocking at all, but Aquarius is the zodiac sign that rules technology, rules the future, rules progress. And Pluto is the planet, it's still a planet in astrology that is the alchemist, it's the transformer. Wherever it goes, it takes a very long time. It takes 250 years to go through all the signs. So it returned to Aquarius last year in 2023 for the first time since the 1700s. And so the last time it was in Aquarius, we got the Constitution, we got the French Revolution, the Haitian Revolution, like
Oh.
we got the US Mint. And yeah, so then now it's back in Aquarius, and we have all these disruptions and all these Aquarian, like Pluto is like it. This is why I can get obsessed. You can get obsessed with astrology because you can track these cycles. Like Pluto comes in and it creates this destruction, but then it like
So we were in
changes
Pluto
things.
until last year.
Pluto last year moved out of Capricorn and into Aquarius. So it was in. Let me back up.
Holy
No.
shit. Okay, this is so confusing.
These are so we can also look, the planets are always moving. So where they are in the sky is also how astrologers make predictions. So because Pluto stays in a sign for 15 to 20 years, you can see these cycles.
So we were in Pluto up until last year.
We're in Pluto, and Pluto's always in a sign. Pluto was in Capricorn from 2008 to 2000, and it's finishing it up. It's like this year for a little bit. But why that's interesting is because Capricorn is a sign that rules banks, the government, the economy. 2008, we get a black president. Life, historical. We get the crash and all the bank bailouts. So when Pluto changes signs, it's a big deal. So Pluto moved into Aquarius
last year
for a little bit. And then we got the Hollywood writers' strike because of AI. And like AI is very Aquarian. It's very sci-fi. So also just social justice, all the campuses and the protests and what happened, like whatever your feelings are on it. It's just a hallmark of Pluto and Aquarius, this very like all this intense stuff happening with the campus activism. Like, do people know what they're doing here? Do they know what they're talking? So Pluto, it really messes stuff up when it changes signs. And so we're in this so it was in Aquarius, and then literally September 1st, it moved back to Capricorn, where it will be for the rest of the election. So it's finishing out. We started with Obama. I don't know who we're going to end with. It's just people are like, who would you predict is going to win? I'm like, I have no freaking idea.
So, right, you don't make predictions.
We do, but I can't with this one. I could not even tell you.
Why?
Because there's so much Aquarius and Capricorn. There's like progressive and old guard, like are both like the swirl that is just like, I don't know. I just can't. I'm not picking up anything. I'm like, this is.
What predictions have you made that came true?
Well, we actually predicted an assassination attempt.
Of Donald Trump?
We didn't say who, but in our book, and we predicted a third-party candidate disrupting the election, and actually predicted in July that RFK would support Trump.
Really?
Yeah, I have it on my Instagram on July 11th, so.
Of last year? Of
this year, but so it wasn't that shocking. But still, it was like people were not expecting that, so.
So because he came on board to supporting Trump when? Like
just like August 25th.
Yeah, like
or something.
about 6 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
How did you figure that one out?
I looked at his chart and I saw, because he's a Capricorn, and I saw Pluto was going to be over his sun. And I was like, because this is where astrology gets, we can see where the planets are now versus where they are when you were born. And I was like, oh, he's got some things hidden there that he's not, I don't know. It's more of he was going to go where the power was or where he felt it was. And it was just like.
Interesting. So do you then believe that he's not as sincere as he claims to be?
Yeah, I think I think that nobody really knew what was going on. Yeah.
So I was blown away by that.
You were.
Yeah. Well, just because I'm like, wow, like he was so anti.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm supporting Trump, huh?
I know, that was like, it just didn't.
It was not, there was a disconnect for me.
Yeah. And so as an I mean, I've probably already confused the heck out of everyone with
probably.
this.
They're probably like, are they on acid? Are they like just on like are they just like smoking
I
crack?
wish.
Yeah. Exactly. Tell me other predictions that you've made that came true.
We actually predicted a black swan event and in 2020. So we write a book every year, and with predictions, I predicted the trad wife,
The what?
the trad wife trend. Do you know about that?
No.
Um, the traditional, like a couple years ago, there's like this I am a traditional wife thing going on. It's like it stands for traditional wife, like these younger women who are like, I cook and I clean and I'm the perfect, wifey 1950s housewife, ballerina farms kind of thing. But I saw that happening because Jupiter was going into Taurus, which is this very conservative energy. And I was like, this is going to I look back at past historical cycles and you see these patterns. That's what's so crazy. It's like what happens repeats and stuff. That's why I'm like, are we all in a Sims? And I'm going to sound like I'm on acid, but whatever. I'm not. But maybe we were just all in a Sims game, here on this
Wow.
planet.
So then what happened? That Trad's wife became like a whole thing?
Yeah. I was like shocked. It was kind of like this backlashy.
Is it like Stepford wives?
A little bit, or just these younger women who are kind of going back to these very like traditional housewife values.
Is it still happening?
It is happening still,
right
yeah.
now?
I don't know if you've heard of Nara Smith. She's like, my husband wanted gumballs, so I decided to make them. These are fascinating. You can go down a
No.
rabbit hole. Yeah. She is a Instagrammer, and her and her husband were both models. They're in their 20s. They have like 2 or 3 kids. Very good looking couple, but she just like makes the most ridiculous things like that you could just go to the store and buy,
She makes gumballs?
She made gumballs. She makes these elaborate dishes, but also the most random things.
Really?
Yes, I know.
This is like a rabbit hole that I'm like fascinated by. So
Yeah.
you have a whole thing on predictions then.
Yeah, we do predictions. We predicted the Bieber baby too at the beginning of the year.
Really?
As well. Oh, we predicted the Bennifer breakup as well.
You did?
Yeah, it's in my book right here.
This book here.
Yes.
Okay, guys, the book that she's referring to is not the book I'm holding.
I
So
know. This is
she
the
has
other
the
one.
Astrology Advantage that's out with her sister, but she also has another book that's called Horoscope
The
2024.
Yeah, I'm working on 2025, getting it off to the printer now. So
Are you telling me this entire book is all predictions?
no, the beginning, yes, it is for each sign. It's like the 5 themes every sign needs to know for the year.
Why, by the way, this is like literally the pink elephant, like the red herring. Why, or not the red, you're burying the lead, I should say. So why are you not telling me about this book? You're pitching and talking about the other book.
Well, I'll come back on and talk to you about 2025.
This is interesting. So, okay, so make some predictions that on this podcast.
We predicted electric cars picking up mid-year too, and the Rivian is doing really well. It's all in. We have a little
Is the
trend
Rivian
report.
doing well? I actually heard that the Rivian is in big trouble.
Is it? Okay, I thought their stock went way up.
When can we check? Can we check
should check that.
Yeah, will
Yeah.
we check right now?
Yeah.
Can you check? I want to know because someone told me that they're not doing so great.
Really?
Yeah, I'd like to know.
And by the way, I'm not always right.
You're not always. I was going to say thank you for being honest.
I know how the planets in astrology work, but
Can you tell
look,
me?
we have free will. We don't always. You're not going to just always be an authority.
Of course not.
Yeah.
So are you? How often are you right and how often are you wrong?
I try to stay away from writing too much stuff that's right and wrong and just give people a lot of inspirational content.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have to think about that, actually.
So since this is a book on Virgo, wait, hold on a second.
Well, it's a book on all the signs.
I know, but I'm saying a book on I'm just talking. I'm very
Oh, yeah, of
narcissistic
course.
today.
Venus and Leo.
Yeah.
Hello. Now we see it.
I was saying, like in the Virgos, can you predict anything for Virgos this year?
Yeah. So Virgos are having a little bit of a challenging year because Saturn is in your opposite sign of Pisces. Saturn is opposite your sun. So everything just may feel a little bit heavy. You may find yourself drawn to being, doing things that are a little more serious than normal and maybe getting pushback from people as a result. Like,
Interesting.
it's not really a popularity year. But it's like Blake Lively is a Virgo, for example, and she's getting kind of like when
Why is she getting slammed, by the way? I'm still
yeah,
confused by it. What happened with her?
apparently she has, and God knows she's probably done so many more interviews. I don't know her, so I'm
Yeah. I
just
know. This is just me
but
curious.
what people are saying is
Yeah.
that she is traditionally like a rude and a bully to reporters who interview her. Like she makes inappropriate jokes. So she was in this movie about domestic violence, and people are like, well, what should people know? And she was like, grab your girlfriends, wear your florals, like, and a
I don't get
report
it. What do you mean grab your
like she was
girlfriends?
making it kind of she was trying to promote her tequila, like her drink
Her drink.
brand,
Okay.
and but it was like a serious subject. Like reporters were asking her about domestic violence and what she would tell people, and she said something like, I don't know, like should I give them my name, my address, my location tracker, like kind of making these
Why
weird,
would she say that?
I don't know. She does that. She makes like weird jokes and maybe it's a nervous thing, but
I saw there was like so much stuff on that. But I couldn't decipher
I know I
what was.
just had to decipher it. I was like, what the heck is going
And
on
I'm
here?
confused by. I'm still confused. So like she got pushback that people thought that she was rude and just tone deaf to the
Yeah, and
situation.
a reporter said interviewed her when she was like 8 months pregnant, said, congratulations on your little bump. And she said to the reporter, congratulations on your little bump, but she wasn't pregnant. So it was like a fat shame. And the reporter wasn't even fat. So she just makes these weird,
Maybe she's just quirky and strange.
I think she is, but it doesn't land. I
It
think she
doesn't
was trying to be
land.
funny, but it just comes across as,
Is like inappropriate.
yeah. And then she just like, but she has been rude. Like after that, she was with Parker Posey and they just talked to each other and ignored the reporter. So she's done that a few times too. So
I didn't know that's, what's so funny about life is that I'm living under a rock. But besides that, is that it's interesting how no, I never heard any of this stuff. And now because one thing went kind of
I
like
know it's like
viral, all of a sudden now she's like the worst human
well,
being
this is
alive.
Pluto and Aquarius. Like people can really be destroyed by social media with Pluto and Aquarius. I think we're gonna have to like have a reckoning around that.
So right now, so I'm in a year, I'm going to make it a little note.
You're in a
So
little bit of a tough time with Saturn opposite your sun. It's really forcing you to maybe work harder. You said you're exhausted, like you're probably more tired. Like you don't have like you have to work harder to get your energy source up right now.
yeah. And then, okay, so so where am I in where's Virgo, not me, whatever, Virgo in relationships?
Thankfully, Pluto is ending this like 16-year tour through your romance house where it's been, I feel like things for like Saturn, yeah, relationships have also been a little bit heavy though, because Saturn is in your marriage and partnership house. So it's just kind of like needing to make the time and space for relationships, but not totally having the energy or the desire to.
So if I go into this book right now under
Yes.
Virgo, what would
Mhm.
it say about relationships in
Uh,
Virgo?
Probably that there's I haven't looked at it for a while because I'm working on 2025,
I
but and I
know,
wrote this in
sorry.
2023, no problem. If you go to the Virgo part,
Would
it
it
says
say
your
that we have
five
a
themes.
would it say Virgos are having a hard time this year?
It would say that relationships might be an area that feels heavy for you. It would say, I think, what did I predict? The career is now, there's some good career stuff happening since May.
Since May? Okay,
Yeah.
so it says top 5 themes for Virgo in 2024 is broaden your reach.
Hmm.
Why? GoPro?
GoPro, yes.
GoPro like GoPro like become like a
Well,
hooker? Or GoPro like wear a
exactly. Right.
GoPro.
It means Jupiter, the planet of abundance, is at the top of your chart in your career house. So it's like professionalize everything that you do, which you've already
That's
done.
actually a very good point. I like that.
Okay.
Be fluid with relationships.
Yes, you
Okay.
need to. So Saturn and Pisces and Neptune, like, yeah, like you may not be able to control every aspect of relationships right now, and you have to let yourself flow with it. Yeah, and maybe some new structures are needed.
I love this. Make green glamorous.
That is about eco chic, healthy eating, which you do already, but bringing some glam to it. Yes.
God knows I need that. Manage your resources strategically, like that money.
Yeah, money, investments, time and energy too, like your physical resources as well.
And what did you say broaden your reach was for?
That was Jupiter and Uranus were together in your international ninth house in the first part of the year. They made this really rare connection and could have brought some global things. Well, of course, you're going to Israel and doing all this work. Did that start?
That's actually
Did
interesting.
it start in April?
I went to Israel in May.
Okay, April 20th was this big
May
day.
4th.
Okay, well, right around there. Yeah. Of course, this global interest is, yeah, your international work is kicking up since then. And it was
Interesting.
Jupiter and Uranus are the humanitarians. So
I wonder if this is interesting. Okay, so then so can you make a prediction? Forget about me. I'll ask you when we off this podcast. But can you make any predictions now that you haven't made before? I want something fresh that I can share with my
let
audience.
me think about that. I've been thinking about that. Next year is really interesting because the outer planets, which don't change signs very often, like it can be like 7 to 20 years sometimes.
Wow.
All of them are moving forward one sign for a little bit of time and then moving back. So next year is like this, like I feel it's going to be a very disorienting year for us. All where we're like, I think we're going to have some event that occurs that really forces us to get serious about climate change, like climate act, like working together, like as a human race in the middle of the year, sometime between April and October, like the middle of the year. There's like this really yeah.
Really? Can you be more specific?
It could be another Hurricane Katrina type thing. It could even be a nuclear event. It could be something like shockingly getting washed away, or
like a big, not a weather thing, but like a big world.
Yeah.
Like what would you call that?
I mean, not necessarily a pandemic again, but like a cataclysmic kind of event of sorts. I don't mean to be apocalyptic, but it could also be like
between April and,
or it could just be this disruptive technology that comes in even beyond AI that just, maybe and on let me actually reframe it in a positive way. There could be some groundbreaking technology that comes in that helps us reverse some of the impacts of climate change. I think we're going to see a lot of incredible innovations, and next year could bring one that just like completely changes the way we do things, the way the internet did.
Interesting. Okay, can you be more specific with something else? Like I want to be much more
I know that's
specific.
Okay,
I don't like this
give me a minute here.
fairy stuff. I'd like to know. I want hard.
You're
like
putting me on the
fact.
spot here.
Yes, that's what we do around here.
Okay,
and I'm looking here for this.
Let me think about that for a minute. It's funny. This is the time of year that I'm going to be doing that. So, cloning next year is going to be a thing. We're going to see a weird, intense developments around cloning, whether it's AI cloning or actual cloning. Yes.
Cloning of people?
Could be cloning of people. We may figure out how to do that. Uranus, the sci-fi planet, is moving into Gemini for the first time since 1941 to 49. And we're at a point with, Gemini's the sign of the twins. So it's going to be interesting. I might not be the only twin in town.
I was going to say, is there going to be another Jennifer?
I already have a clone. It's not so bad, actually.
Exactly.
It's kind of handy. They can write for you.
I was going to say, it can be very beneficial in a lot of ways.
Let me think if there's any. Let me think about other stuff. Well, there will. I think that, unfortunately, there's going to be more war next year, too. Let me think of some good news stuff, but it's
No, I want the truth.
Oh, I have a prediction for next year.
Okay.
And I know I heard Jerome Powell say that the interest rates are going to go down, but on June 9th next year, Jupiter, which is abundance and luck, is going to Cancer. That rules residential real estate. So I think we're going to see things opening up in the residential real estate market again.
Opening up and how?
More people being able to afford housing, more, a lot of boomers aren't selling their houses, there's like
So you're
a
thinking
limit on, like, there's not as much inventory available. So I think we may see some, I don't know, just people wanting to sell, and especially when interest rates go down.
So you're saying that the housing market will open up in when?
After June of next year, middle of the year, second half of the year, if you want to. And it does dovetail with when interest rates are going down.
So you're saying interest rates will go down then too?
I do. Yes, I do think so. But that's
In-
also
in
what
June.
Jerome Powell did say that. So he
Yeah.
said second half of the year. And I was like, oh, how interesting. Because, yeah.
And so if someone wants to buy a Rivian, would you suggest they buy a Rivian if the stock is going up, even though I don't think it is?
I would
lease
I,
it.
I would, or I would just buy stock in it while it's low right now. It might go up.
Have you bought stock in it?
I haven't, but a friend of mine did. And after my prediction, she said it went up, but I guess it's gone down now. So
This is so interesting. I mean,
let's see what the stars have to say about
I
that.
know. I love that. Okay. Well, maybe you'll just come back and tell me about your 2025 stuff.
Yeah, I'll have a whole trend report written.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, guys, her book with her twin is called The Astrology Advantage, and they are the Astro Twins. And this is Tali. And her other book is called The Astrology Guide to 2024. She's now writing her 2025.
Yep, the Astro Twins 2024 horoscope. Yep,
Yes, you heard it here first. And you can also follow them on Instagram. What's your Instagram?
at Astro Twins. Yes.
I love that. Okay. Thank you so much for being on the
Oh,
podcast.
it's so fun. I also do readings.
You
so
do?
You can book a reading from Instagram. Yeah.
Amazing,
Yeah, so if
guys.
someone wants their whole chart done, we can go through it just like we did for you.
I know.
Yeah.
We haven't even finished it, by the way, but I don't
know
want
we
to bore
haven't.
everyone with all the details here. But thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh, it was so fun.
So
Great
fun.
to meet you.
You're so good to meet you. Bye.